How does IHL define protected persons in occupied territories? Imagine being caught in a situation where your home is taken over by a foreign army. You might wonder, what protections do you have? Let's explore how International Humanitarian Law, or IHL, defines protected persons in such situations. Under IHL, especially the Fourth Geneva Convention of 1949, protected persons are civilians who find themselves in the hands of a party to the conflict that is not their own nationality. This means if you are a civilian living in an occupied territory and your country is not the occupying power, you are considered a protected person. These protections are designed to safeguard your dignity and basic rights during occupation. The Fourth Geneva Convention applies to anyone in the power of the occupying force who is not their national. Nationals of the occupying country are usually not protected under this specific law because their own government can help them through diplomatic channels. But if you are from a neutral or allied country and are in occupied territory, you still qualify for protections if your government does not have normal diplomatic relations with the occupying power. Protected persons must not be deprived of the rights given to them under the Geneva Convention, no matter what changes the occupation brings. For example, even if the local government is replaced or altered, these civilians still have rights. They cannot be forcibly transferred or deported unless there are security or military reasons, and any evacuation must be temporary and carried out humanely. Other protections include banning forced labor, preventing destruction of property unless justified by military necessity, and ensuring access to food, medical supplies, and health care. Protected persons also have the right to challenge restrictions on their movement, such as being refused permission to leave the occupied area. They should be allowed to practice their religion and receive medical care without interference. The concept of protected persons is closely linked to the idea of belligerent occupation. This occurs when a hostile army takes control of a territory without the consent of the sovereign state. The occupying power then has responsibilities to the civilian population, as outlined in the Hague Regulations of 1907 and detailed further in the Fourth Geneva Convention. In simple terms, protected persons are civilians who are not nationals of the occupying power and who are under its effective control. They are entitled to protections that aim to keep them safe, preserve their dignity, and uphold their basic rights during occupation. These rules help ensure that, even in times of conflict, human rights are respected and protected.